Oh, I just realized I'm matching with my journal today. Hi guys! So, we are going to be planning for the new year, 2021. When I'm posting this, it's already going to be 2021, but basically resetting, coming back to basics, planning, setting up everything. I've been following Rowena Tsai, that's how you pronounce her last name, for a while, and I know that she did this whole like month challenge for getting ready for 2021 and like, you know, reflecting. And why can't I talk today? I think it's the caffeine. We're gonna try to do it all today, and I don't think it's gonna take that long because it's more of me reflecting about it. And basically, let's just go get prepared for 2021 and yeah. And if you want to do this with me, then get yourself your planner, your journal, your phone, I don't know, so we can do it together and have a good year, have a good start to our year. I'll show you guys my new journal that I got for Christmas, but it's basically this very minimalist, low-waist planner, like a lot of space on this side. There's like 3 columns for the days of the week. I know from, you know, using my last journal that I like having to-do lists and just like bubbling in when I finish something, so I have that over here. Then in the middle column I'll have like the important like appointments or work shifts and stuff like that. Another thing that I'll probably talk about more later is that I want to make sure that I meal plan, right? So this other column over here will give me a space to write like what I'm planning, so that it's easier for me to see what I need to buy and all that stuff. So there's a whole dedicated column, and I didn't even have to think of that, right? Okay, I'm back from watching the very first video. I didn't watch all of it all the way through. Figured out what her question prompts were. And the first of them is write down 3 things that went well this year. Okay, wait, I need to hear her examples. Yeah, I think definitely one of the things was creating a stronger relationship with my significant other. Since we're apart, we've gone through a lot of different things, like becoming used to, or mostly for me, but becoming used to not being able to see each other, not being able to visit, and like going from seeing each other every day to never seeing each other in person, basically. And so that obviously comes with a lot of hardship, and I can probably put that on a lot of different a lot of these questions, because it's something that I never actually thought I could do. I never thought I could do this type of like long distance relationship. But yes, I am really happy now with how we are, and actually how much stronger and better we are, actually, like because of all these things that we had to go through. It's going very well. I'll just leave it at that. And I guess I'll just say family, being able to have difficult conversations even when everyone's stressed out, you know, like we're all going through our own stuff and all stressed out during this time, obviously, of 2020, seeing where we've come from and how we can now like communicate so much better. That's a great accomplishment in and of itself. And I think she also kind of talked about this in her video, just like being a little more open and being able to communicate better with people and just being able to have difficult conversations. 3 things that I learned this year. Number 1 would probably be what I was talking about earlier, about working less, achieving more. Just kind of learning that we don't, well, it's also with the whole like stressing out about the future and stuff like that. It's basically just the whole idea of like, we don't need to know exactly where we want to get to, like what career we want. It's all unknown, and trying to stress out about figuring out the perfect thing right now that we're definitely going to stick to the rest of our lives, it's actually not realistic. Another thing I learned is we need time to relax, we need time to reset. And this also kind of goes along with putting mindfulness, putting self-care into our schedule so that we never miss out on it. You know, if you're a planner and you plan out all your to-dos, all your appointments, why don't you do that for self-care? I always think I don't have enough time, I feel so overwhelmed about, you you know, going to this, doing this, having a whole to-do list, and just like kind of realizing and getting back into that habit of, you know, scheduling in these times and seeing that you actually have more time if you prioritize those things. If you schedule in your time for self-care, it's much easier to stick to habits and stick to making these habits for yourself. And another thing I learned this year, she gave an example of, hey, it could just be something that you learned about yourself. Like, maybe you learned that you're more resilient. And I kind of think that too, like what I was saying earlier with my relationship. I am much more resilient than I thought that I could be, you know, like I'm much stronger than I perceive myself, because I just like seeing that I'm here. I am at the end of 2020, at the beginning of 2021, and I'm like much better, in a much better place than I was when it first started, obviously. Just, I guess, learning about this whole human resilience, I guess. So the fourth thing is 3 things I'm proud of this year. I think a big one would be stepping out of my comfort zone and doing this, creating this. Getting through 2020, I'm just kind of proud of myself for, you know, taking action, taking, you know, this time to step back and think about my life and how I want to live it, and kind of using this pause, even though it's a very unsettling pause, to refocus a little bit, even though it you know, it took a lot of stress and emotions this whole year to get to this place, but just, you know, that's kind of what you have to do. I think a lot of times we're just kind of putting off those things, and I think this year was kind of that. Like I dug, I did it. Like I got through all that hard stuff to kind of finally get to this place where my mind is a little bit clearer and I feel a little bit better. Or I actually just had a realization that I cannot not talk about this if we're talking about 2020, and something that I overcame, something I learned, and something I'm proud of is that I finally just bit the bullet and decided to ask for help with my skin, and just like figuring out how technology has changed and how I can actually help it, since it's like it was severe, very severe, and it was a very big weight. It was a very big baggage on my mind all the time. Can't forget that. I can't forget how much has just lifted off of me ever since I finally started getting treated for it, you know? Like basically I think I just thought of it as like I'm doing something wrong because my this is how my skin is. Like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, I need to figure out what it is so that my body can actually work or whatever. This is my body's baseline, you know? And I think finally like resetting my mindset to be like, this is just me. I think that's a major reason why I just feel so much more relaxed, so much more able to do regular things, because I'm not just constantly stressed about this thing. Okay, so I just watched the second video. Basically, the idea of this one was to look at 20 favorite things from this year. I mean, for the physical things, I could show you, like, obviously these pants, and then obviously the newer jeans that I found more recently, the corduroy ones. Those ones I'm very in love with too, and I think it's because they're literally the same, you know, style, except that one's more of a wide leg. And obviously the color is just, I just love the color. I just literally, like, I just thought of like, okay, what are my favorite things? What are the things that I'm like, I've literally had to say out loud how much I love them, because every single time I see them, I'm like, I love this thing. Obviously my plants, because I think maybe it was last year that I started getting plants, but this year, like kind of at the beginning of this year, I just like got so many. How they're, you know, just bring so much light and greenery into the space. And obviously I just think they're so pretty, and it's so cool to watch that, like, new leaves growing and just seeing like growth happening right in front of you. You know, it's makes you a little bit more mindful, I think, because you get to watch time pass basically. Next thing was the shoes that my mom actually got me from Everlane. They were like perfect for me. I really like how there's no, you know, brand, you know, there's no like Nike or Adidas logo, because I used to wear these Adidas shoes that are kind of like the same style, and it has the, you know, the black stripes, but I just wanted like a neutral cream sneaker, and it was like, these are like perfect, and the fit is really comfortable. They also just make this cool sound when you walk. It's kind of like you're wearing heels, you know, they like click a little bit, even though this has no like, there's no like hard, it's just rubber, like rubber soles and stuff, but it still makes this a very nice sound when you walk. And then my next thing is just tea in general. There's not much to say about it. I just love tea. And another thing is going to be my little stuffed animal family. Basically, this family that I share with me and my boyfriend. This one is something he got me for my birthday like 2 years ago, before we were even dating. And this guy is a Shiba Inu. And then I found this because I work at a toy store, so this guy came in and I was like, I need this. They are a family. They need to be together. It's a penguin that we got together when we were here. He also has some other stuffed animals that we kind of, because we have this shared love for these things, and having that idea of like, oh, they're all a family, you know? Having that like physical type of thing to have to keep us feeling connected to each other, you know? I gave him this little guy as a little present, and then he actually sent it back to me so that I could have it. And it's just like, and then I just sent him another, you know, just like having them go from place to place, you know, I guess. And it's just, yeah, very good. The third one is very long, but it is more about what is the most important in your life and what you want to focus on. Pick 4 of the most important life buckets that is most important to you at this moment. So I chose creativity, mental health, family and relationships, and personal growth. So I went and wrote like my why, like why did I choose these 4 things, and then how that thing went in 2019, how it went in 2020, and how I want it to end or how I want it to be in 2021. I just felt like a quick little blurb because honestly my hand is getting tired, and I think the why is the most important for me right now. Off of those things, she wants you to create systems for it. And basically a goal is like the specific thing that you want to achieve, and then a system is the way and the plan of action to get to that goal. I kind of started trying to write it down, and I think maybe because my hand is tired already. Basically my perfectionism brain is coming in, so I have to like just stop and just talk about it. So basically the first one is I want to pick a day of the week where I have time to plan out my next week. Get everything in order so I feel a little bit better about things in general, you know? So I think it should be Sunday. It's probably something that might change if I end up feeling like this is way too much to put on Sundays. Making small to-do lists that I feel like I know that I want to do on every day or certain days or whatever. Like, you know, I want to start meditating more often again, exercising again. And another big thing is I want to start meal planning so that I make it easier on myself every day to not have to like think about what I'm gonna make or whatever and try to figure it out right there and then. Meal planning will be much easier on myself so that we could just go to the store. Like, I know myself, I know I like these things, but I think, you know, if you're coming from a place where you're trying to catch up to everything that you want to be doing, I think you kind of need to, you know, remember to plan these things back in. Another kind of, I don't know if this is more of a system or a habit, but basically what I just said earlier, like wanting to meditating in the morning, or meditating or exercising in the morning. I have been just more understanding with myself just because like this season, because obviously it's winter, it's cold. I think it's just like hibernation season. Kind of more of a morning person. I like the stillness. I don't know if I'm gonna call this a system, but just meditating. I'm just gonna call it meditating in mornings. Okay guys, so I just watched her 4th video, kind of, and it was about self-care and your energy levels and stuff like that. I think it is definitely a thing I should do, but I don't feel like I want to do that today because I want to kind of come back to where I wanted to focus on 2021 goals, like, you know, in trying to find your purpose and your why in life. Well, I guess I've just been learning that you kind of have to just experience things and go on the journey, and through that journey you'll learn more about yourself, like little bits of things that you can kind of piece together and figure out, like, okay, who am I and what works for me, kind of thing. So like, I like to have things organized and I like to have structure, so hopefully I'll see that I am correct, but yeah, we'll see. Because obviously if you were not that type of person and you hated all this stuff and you actually felt much better and you thrived way more on just more spontaneity, definitely that would be making more work for yourself that is not gonna help you be successful and be satisfied. It all depends on you. So the Sundays are my planning days, meditating in mornings. I wrote that I'm gonna wake up early-ish to have quiet time for mindfulness and alone time. Like, I think ideally I would like to wake up at like 7 or 8, or like I would like to wake up earlier, but I think just being more realistic about it, kind of, and making it easy for me to create a habit. And I want to make it a habit to come back to this journal like every day so that I check in with myself. I think I'm a little bit tired now. Definitely wouldn't recommend to do all of this in one day, but I think it is a good thing to just set out a few hours of your time to just like think about these things and just reflect, and maybe my goal setting will come to me more naturally when I'm not on camera. But yeah, so goal setting for the other aspects of my life probably be on my own time, but you know, like financial and other stuff that I can't really think of right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful and reflective and inspiring maybe. I would love that. That would be great. So if you like this video and you made it all the way here too, then why don't you give this a like and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you are subscribing today, welcome to my room and welcome to our new year, I guess. Yeah, our new year together here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!